What's up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe before we get started. And we're going to go ahead and dive into something really good in this video. So to be honest, most people aren't overtraining because they're lazy. They're willing and they're ready to go put in the work. They're overtraining because they think that more is better. And that's not always true. So 6-7 days a week, multiple exercises per muscle, endless volume, and still no growth. A lot of people are having this issue. But here's the truth. Your muscles aren't growing because you're violating 3 fundamental principles of growth. And so you're wondering, what's the solution? The solution is high intensity training. You might have heard of it before. It was made extremely popular in late years by Mike Mentzer, invented by Arthur Jones, and proven on the Olympia stage by 6-time Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates himself. So if you fix these 3 super simple things, your growth is going to change. So step number 1, you should be implementing this every single workout, is brief workouts. The key principle, if a workout is truly intense, it cannot be long. And if it's long, it probably wasn't intense. So why does this matter? Muscle growth isn't triggered by time in the gym. It's actually triggered by the quality of the stimulus that it receives. So science shows that muscle growth is primarily stimulated by mechanical tension, recruitment of high threshold motor units, and progressive overload. And the most powerful growth fibers, type 2 fibers, are recruited only under high effort conditions, not from endless sets. Research on volume shows that after a certain point, additional sets produce diminishing returns. So it's actually counterproductive. Excess volume increases fatigue more than it increases stimulus. Like I said, it's not endurance training. Also, cortisol rises with prolonged sessions, potentially interfering with recovery. So if your intensity is high enough, 1 to 2 all-out sets per exercise is sufficient. So heavy-duty workouts should last 30 to 45 minutes and sometimes even less. Like if you're training just a few muscle groups, 20, 25, 30 minutes might hit that sweet spot for you. True intensity drains the nervous system fast. So you will not grow from marathon workouts. You grow from maximum stimulation plus maximum recovery. So that brings me to step number 2. So step number 2 is going to be the intensity of the workout. So this is the big one. Most people stop their sets when it starts to burn a little bit in the muscle, but you should stop when you physically cannot complete another rep. So you don't have to hurt yourself. You don't have to go until your tendons are in pain or your bones are in pain, but till your muscle actually fails, until you cannot complete another rep. So why does training to failure actually matter? Studies show that sets taken close to failure with about 0 to 1 reps in reserve produce significantly greater motor unit recruitment compared to sets that are stopped early. So yes, research does show that reps in reserve training can build muscle. But the closer you are to failure, the more complete the fiber recruitment. So training to failure ensures maximum stimulus per set. The high threshold motor units are fully activated under maximal effort. When you stop 3 to 4 reps short, you're leaving growth on the table. So failure training does these 3 things: maximizes mechanical tension, ensures full motor unit recruitment, and creates the stimulus that your body must adapt to. Your body needs a reason to grow. But here's the key. You cannot train to true failure and also train high volume and high frequency. That's why most people compromise intensity. They train often, they train long, but they never train truly hard because they're not recovered. They can't do it. So high intensity training flips that. It's lower volume, maximum effort, and absolutely brutal focus. 1 set done correctly is more productive than 5 sets done comfortably. So step number 3 is going to be frequency. So if intensity is high, frequency must be low. This is where most lifters sabotage themselves. Growth does not happen in the gym. It happens during recovery, when calories are high, when the nervous system resets, and when protein synthesis has a chance to be complete. High intensity training heavily taxes the muscular system, the central nervous system, and your recovery reserves. So research shows muscle protein synthesis stays elevated roughly 24 to 72 hours after training, but systemic fatigue can last longer, especially with maximal effort training. If you train again before full recovery, you interrupt adaptation. So high intensity principles suggest training each muscle 4 to 7 days, sometimes even less frequently for advanced lifters. What I do is I train 4 days a week, 3 to 4 days a week, and I make sure I hit every single muscle group. And if you're still wondering why, it's because growth requires stimulus, and then recovery, and then adaptation, and then it requires super compensation. That is the compensation and then the growth of the muscle. So most people train again during the recovery phase, not the growth phase, and they wonder why they plateau. Allowing more rest allows nervous system recovery, glycogen replenishment, hormonal normalization, and it allows you to be in a caloric surplus to be stored as muscle tissue. If you're training hard enough, you should need more rest. So let's go ahead and recap these three. These are the 3 fixes that if you apply to your workout, you will make steady gains and good gains. If your muscles aren't growing, 1, make your workouts brief, 30 to 45 minutes, minimal junk volume, and maximum focus. 2, train with real intensity, 0 reps in reserve, true muscular failure, and progressive overload, which is helped by tracking your workouts. And number 3, lower your frequency. Allow for full recovery, eat enough to grow, and do not train fatigued muscles. You're only digging a deeper inroad to recovery. Let them recover. Growth is not about doing more. It's about doing enough and then getting out of the way so your body can adapt. This is something that takes patience. The gym doesn't reward effort. It rewards adaptation. Train hard, train brief, and recover fully. That's high intensity, and that might be exactly what you've been missing. So go ahead and give it a try. Follow these principles, and I guarantee your physique, your strength gains will change. If you like this video, I appreciate you staying all the way to the end. You are awesome. Go ahead and drop a like, comment, subscribe, and share. Make sure to subscribe to support the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope that this helped you. If you have any comments, please don't be afraid to ask. Thank you so much for watching.